guy. So I'm going to look for her first, and she will take us to the place because I don't know. Okay? So we're going to pick her up first. Right? And here in esta link. Yeah. And I need to buy timings for my phone.
Nicaragua was kind of a blur. My experience there feels as if it was a story I had been told a long time ago. It's funny how quickly we forget things. Granted, we did move around a lot, traveling from place to place. We met a lot of different people. Among these people were children, some beggars, begging at stoplights, or some just friendly, waving at you from afar. The whole time we were in Nicaragua, I was extremely aware of their presence. I always noticed when the children walked by. I constantly wished to go and play and talk with them. Children were possibly so apparent to me because in almost every interview we had, the youth was brought up. People said that the youth is what could change their country. Keyword could. These children are born into a lifestyle where they don't have a chance to be educated. For some, begging is all they know. How can they try and educate others when they themselves are not educated?
It's so crazy. We just started singing. She was singing in English, right? She was singing the verses in English. Okay, it's Spanish. That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. These little keys, these like sharp keys. You don't get those.
So, I was thinking about all the choices that we have. And then, people obviously were talking a lot about privilege and thinking a lot about that and thinking about our school and the way that we live versus the ways of life that we encountered in Nicaragua. And as I'm thinking, the day that we were leaving, I felt like I had never, it had been so long since I had not wanted to leave somewhere so badly. I felt really sad about leaving, and felt like it was being totally cut short, and all the questions that I had going into it were like half answered, and then I had all these other questions. So I left sort of with more questions that I came in with.
Y estoy acostumbrado
al acompañamiento.
How on earth is it that we are going to be able to say to the young people and to the faculty of Buxton just how much it has meant to us to have the privilege to accompany you? Just how much it has meant to us that you came to Nicaragua instead of going somewhere else. And just how much it means to us to know young people like yourselves. You have heard over and over and over again that you are the future. And I want to tell you right now, you're not just the future, you're the present. We have a friend who says that the most radical thing you can do is introduce people to one another. So to introduce young people from Ciudad Sandino and Batola Norte, from Buxton School, to people who are young in spirit and young in age from La Grecia and San Ramon and Matagalpa and Esteli and Somotillo and many other places where you've gone, has been indeed an immense joy. Because it has meant to introduce the best to the best. And it has meant that we have introduced to one another the hope that really there can be a new world and a better world. So here's our thanks to Buxton. Quiero estar bien con mis hermanos. El norte al sur al fin del mundo.
I guess I've heard that, you know, this generation, you know, the youth can change a lot and has the power to. And fundamentally, I believe that, but I don't believe it's going, or it really is going to happen, because I think there's this kind of sense of, I don't have that much power, so I'm not going to do anything, but if someone else does something, you know, I would go and do that. And it seems to be like a very kind of overarching thing. And I forgot what the question was.
It was chaos, and it was noisy, and it was joyful, and it was like it would be with students anywhere in the world all together. And yet it wasn't like that. Because when it was time to be attentive, no, everyone was attentive. Everyone was sensitive. And not only sensitive, but grateful. Young people between the ages of 14 and 18 years old having some sense of what they were being given in that opportunity was wonderful to experience.
I was at a certain point almost sure that I was going to go back to Nicaragua and spend the year working with Elena and the AKF Center for the coming year, because I did feel like the trip was so abbreviated, and I really felt like pretty passionately interested in following up on a lot of the questions that it left me with, and just really enjoyed being there immensely and really wanted to go back. But I was thinking, well, what is it that I can really give? And am I going to be just taking it? Is it going to be just this enriching experience where I don't really have anything at this point in my life that I can give? And so I'm now planning on going to school. And part of my decision to do that is that we do have these opportunities that are not accessible to many of the people that we met in Nicaragua. And I think that that basically I feel like it's sort of our like moral duty to really take the opportunities that we're given and like really make the most out of them and equip ourselves with tools for being able to better wrestle with certain questions and come to maybe more insightful conclusions about what it is that we can be doing.